Racetrack Live, Louisville Motor Speedway. Mike Skinner's missing a great race in his black number 3 as he pulls away up front. The battle behind him, and here you see the interval, and here you see the combatants. P.J. Jones has Joe Ruttman all over him during the commercial break. Ruttman moved up, nudged him a little to let him know he was there, getting a little more aggressive because he doesn't want Skinner to get away, and perhaps he's checked his mirror to see that Rick Corelli has moved around Portgate to take over 4th spot. Corelli is trying to reel in this battle, and Ruttman really,
if he's going to win this race, he's going to have to. And here he's on the inside. He has a run going in the corner. He's there. Can he make it?
How did he manage to not touch it?
I don't know how they didn't crash.
Well, that's just amazing.
Joe Ruttman takes over that 2nd spot.
PJ gave him just enough room without giving him enough room, and Ruttman said, I'll take that. I got a faster truck than you do.
And right now, our leader, Skinner, is caught in some traffic. There we see 6th. That's 6th and 7th and 8th right there.
Yeah, you're right. Bush is 6th, and then Portgay, and then 31 Sprague, who started on the pole, beat it all up, and is still inside the top 10. That should be 9th behind him, I believe. That is the 75 of Bill Sedgwick. Meanwhile, the leader, we'll now find out what he's got.
And we see he's caused some traffic. He's had to go by 2 trucks, and he's still trying to get by the 7 of Resendiz. He finally makes that pass, and we see that Ruttman is gaining just ever so slightly on the Goodrich Chevrolet, but I don't know if he has time. 37 laps. Can he catch it?
Traffic is a big deal. Who catches it right? Who catches it wrong? Corelli, meanwhile, is part of this story, and he is about equidistant behind P.J. Jones, equal to the distance that Jones is behind Ruttman. So it's still Skinner's to win or lose. Ruttman's got a very fast truck. There's a look at Bliss. He's probably just on the tail end of the top 10. Yeah, he is 10th. So that's 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th. There's a pretty tight little battle going on.
Coach Glanville and P.J. Jones makes a contact with him, and the caution flag is out.
P.J. spins.
He has a right rear flat on that truck after he made contact with Coach Glanville.
He can't get her reined in, I'll tell you what. He's beat the right side of it all up as a result, and this is going to make a whole new deal out of it. Skinner's lead will be erased. Corelli has one of the trucks in front of him eliminated, or at least moved out of the way by the 9th caution of the day on lap 199. Let's see how it happened.
There we see Skinner go down in the corner. Now some contact between the 81 and Ruttman goes by, and we see the right rear make some contact with the P.J. Jones in that Sears Die-Hard truck.
Ruttman was lucky because he didn't get involved in it. That spin by Glanville just about took out 2nd and 3rd place. Ruttman got by, P.J. didn't. So P.J. Jones will be back in the ruck.
I said he had a flat right rear tire. He does not.
Sure acted like it.
Sure acted like it had a flat tire.
Don't handle very well on that grass over there. He went to the, he was trying to avoid Glanville, got the truck sideways. It came down to the grass.
Now with 33 laps to go, the crew is telling him to stay out there. They said there's no point in pitting because you'll have to go at the end of the line, and we can't pass many of these. Hey, make them pass you. Don't give the spots away.
Let's go to Marty Reed.
Well, guys, we were down here wondering if P.J. Jones was going to be coming in, and we were right next door with Butch Miller's crew and said, hey, your guy's truck is so clean. He says, yeah, he's sort of been pacing himself, but we're running out of laps. We're telling him to turn up the wick, so we're going to find out if Butch Miller has anything left.
Time to bend her up a little, Butch. Why should you stand out as the only guy with straight fenders on your truck? We're down to shootout time here.
You know, and I started talking about the, you know, where it says total petroleum on the back of the Corelli truck. That's on a car that's called the quarter panel. But on the truck, it's the bed, right? I mean, that's the truck bed. So, right. You know, we need, when they say they need a sponsor, they need something for the truck bed on these things.
There you go. It's a bit different world, this truck racing stuff. They assemble Ford pickups, one exit north on I-65. Actually, the little Rangers get put together up there. The Ford full-size pickup is the best-selling vehicle in America. This Chevrolet of Rick Corelli wants to continue a Chevrolet streak, make it 8 straight wins, and he's got his second best shot of the day. He led at once, then tangled with Hornaday, and he will be right behind Joe Ruttman and Mike Skinner when we go back to green very shortly. Well, Benny, it's time to pick one. Who do you think in that first three looks like the saltiest dog?
I mean, I think the Skinner's going to be awfully hard to pass. I think that Joe Rutten may be a tick faster if they could just time them. But this is a race, and Rutten's got to pass the 3 truck, and that might be difficult to do.
It's your full field summary. Butler, I think they fixed it a little too much, just as Benny called it at the halftime break. Miller, consistent, hanging in there in 5th spot. Told me this morning on NASCAR Today, who wants to be consistent? I want to win one of these things. Portengay, Sprague, Sedgwick, Bliss, and Jones rounding out your top 10. We'll take you on back as there are still 11 trucks on the lead lap. That means that Straight in the 37 is the last truck on the lead lap. And we'll find out who's got what in that top 3. It ought to be a fair country shootout here at Louisville Motor Speedway. I'd like to see it stay green the rest of the way. I certainly would not bet the week's paycheck that will happen. If so, it'll be the longest green flag run of the night. Big crowd. This truck race greeted with a great deal of enthusiasm and anticipation. They come to their feet. We're about to go green for what may be the last run of the night. Lap 168. Skinner gets the great jump. We should say 172. Skinner gets the great jump. And if that's an indication, he's going to be very tough to pass, Benny.
There he goes. Look at the jump he has on the 84 truck already. Rutman is already 10 car lengths behind. But
Butler trying to get around Pirelli. Pirelli looks loose. Butler looked pretty good there for a moment as he really came at him on that restart. I think he saw the opportunity. Figured, if I'm going to get him, I better get him now. Get him behind me, make him pass me. Pirelli now has opened up about a 3-truck separation on Butler. Boy, Skinner looks good. They don't make many mistakes, that team.
no, they don't make many mistakes. And I think that Skinner fits the mold of Richard Childress' driver very, very well. And I will tell you that the one truck, the P.J. Jones, did in fact make the pit stop and go in and repair some of that damage. I said he wouldn't do. He'd make the other guys pass him, but he did go in. Now we see Butch Miller. He is making that move towards the front as he tries his best to get under Toby Butler.
Sounds like we're going to get a black flag out there for PJ, which will force another pit stop. Apparently, yeah, he's got body work hanging off the side of it. Butch has run every lap of the series so far, the 98 truck. Butch Miller, the only driver in the series who can make that statement. They have consistently gotten better and better and better.
Oh, and the 31 of Sprague in the wall. Heavy contact up in the turn 1 area, or whatever turn that is up there. It's the first one after the start-finish line.
Well, sort of the first one, unless you count that other first one. Everybody got by. He hit her from the back this time. Shortens that truck up big time. None of the leaders endangered by that. In fact, they were just coming up to him as he wobbles in with the left front tire flat. That's the car that's the truck that started in front here after the inversion. That's the Mike Skinner rule. Skinner won 5 straight poles, and they said, well, enough of this. From now on, the pole sitter draws a pill from the box, and we will invert 0. Not necessarily invert. In other words, if it's a 0, we won't invert it, or we'll invert 4, 6, or 8 trucks. Today, the number was 4, so Skinner, the pole sitter, started in 4th. Why did they black flag number 1, Benny? Could you explain that?
He has the friendliest truck in town. The man of the truck is just waving at everybody.
They said, nah, PJ can't have that. Actually, they have black flagged him now for about 3 laps. So perhaps the sun is in his eyes as he comes across the start-finish line, and it has not been possible for him to see the black flag thus far. They're doing the cleanup